We talk a lot about Hyatt hotels and the oversized value we get when we stay with them with points. Today, we're diving into another favorite hotel brand, IHG. Stay tuned as we tell you about some of our favorite stays. Welcome to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Pam, Alex's mom.
And I'm Jess. Let's talk points. So y'all know that I'm a Hyatt girly. I think all of us are Hyatt girlies. But we know that you might want to hear about some other brands. And we actually do love IHG. And so today is going to be all about IHG. We are diving deep into the cars that earn IHG points, where you can stay, our favorite stays, the stays we're looking forward to most, all at IHG hotels and resorts. You might recognize some of the names we mentioned. A lot of you may have stayed at Holiday Inn or Holiday Inn Express before. There may be some names you don't recognize yet, but that's okay. We are going to get into it now. So we're just going to go into like a high level overview of our background with IHG. So I will kick it off. I mentioned this on a previous episode, I don't remember which one, about how I wrote out 90 index cards to enter an IHG competition way back when. This was when I first got started with Points and Miles. This was probably like 2015 or 2016. I wrote out 90 index cards for me. I wrote out 90 index cards for my husband. I mailed them in. I scored us enough IHG points to get 4 nights in Scotland for free. And so it was worth it. Have not seen that contest back since then. I think IHG probably learned their lesson with that one. So I don't have a ton of experience with IHG, but I do have a good amount. It is great. Like anytime we take a road trip, there's always an IHG option. You know, a lot of times Hyatt has a smaller footprint. There may not be a Hyatt option in a lot of places. There is always an IHG. I can always find a Holiday Inn. I can always find a Staybridge Suites. And so it's really great if that is your goal. I have had all of the IHG cards. There used to be an IHG card that no longer exists. I think the annual fee was only $49 a year, and you got a free night certificate with it. And so that was a great card. I had that one when it first came out, and I have since had the IHG business card and the IHG Premier personal card, which we are going to get into. So I have a decent amount of experience with IHG. What about you, Alex?
You know, before I got into this hobby, I didn't even realize what hotels were IHG hotels. I didn't even know the IHG was the name of the hotel corporation. You know, I just was like, oh yeah, I knew what a Holiday Inn Express was. What's the commercial? My husband and I always joke about it. I may not be a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. And those commercials were really hilarious, but that was like the extent of it. Was I knew what a Holiday Inn was, but I didn't even know it was part of IHG. And so my experience and my knowledge of IHG before I got into Points and Miles was very, very minimal. So, I mean, like we've said in previous episodes, my family was kind of a Marriott family. And so I didn't have a lot of experience, staying at them as a kid either. I'm sure like what you said, there's a lot of Holiday Inn Express around. So we would stay at those hotels, if we needed an airport hotel stay or if we, were on a road trip. But that was kind of the extent of my experience with IHG until, this hobby came around and I learned, oh, this is IHG and this is all of the hotels that are associated with it. Ooh, some of these are really nice and, piqued my interest quite a bit. What about you, Mom?
Yeah, you did stay at some Holiday Inns and Holiday Inn Expresses because they were definitely family-friendly hotels. And so we did stay in some of them on road trips. And that too, that's all I was familiar with. I remember before I got into this hobby, I thought Crowne Plazas were it. They were a luxury hotel to me, and they're really more of a mid-range hotel. But when I could stay at a Crowne Plaza, I thought I'd really arrived. So that was my thoughts. I didn't even know, again, like all of you, that there was a brand name called IHG. I thought that Holiday Inn was its own thing. Crowne Plaza was its own thing. I didn't know that they came under an umbrella called IHG. And I certainly didn't know anything that they had true luxury hotels like the InterContinental, very cute boutique hotels that are also quite luxurious, like the Kimpton or the Indigo. And so I have become a huge fan of the IHG brand, and particularly the more luxury hotels since then. So, Alex, tell us how we can earn IHG points to stay at any of these hotels that we decide that we'd like to stay at.
Yeah, so Chase issues IHG cards. There are 3 IHG cards. There's 2 personal. They have the IHG One Rewards Traveler credit card. This is their entry-level card. So the standard offer is 80,000 points after spending $2,000 in the first 3 months. You get silver status, so you get that 4th night free with that. No annual fee, so it's a good option to downgrade to. Then you have the IHG One Rewards Premier credit card. Now, this is one that we talk about much more. We don't really mention the Traveler card because the welcome offer just isn't that great. The IHG One Rewards Premier card, though, another personal card, has the standard offers 140,000 points after spending $4,000 in 3 months, and it has a $99 annual fee. Now, occasionally at the time of recording, this offers 170,000 points. Not sure what it'll be once this airs, but it does bump up a couple of times a year. That's most often the case, at least 2 times a year, I would say. You can only have one of these personal cards. You can't hold both of them. So that's why we talk about the Premier card more, is because we can only have one, we'd rather have the better one. Now, with the Premier card too, you get an annual free night certificate up to 40,000 points, and you can top that off, which makes it really nice. And there's no cap. Like with Marriott, you can only, add like 15,000 points to your free night certificate. Hyatt, you can't top off your free night certificates. So it's really nice that you can top them off and there's no limit. It makes it much more valuable. So because of this free night certificate, it's a keeper card in our opinion. Now, the no annual fee card doesn't come with that free night certificate. So another, plus in the annual fee card. The Premier also has global entry or TSA PreCheck or Nexus credit every 4 years. So really paying for it more than paying for itself that first year for sure when you can, take advantage of that credit. With that card, you'll also get automatic platinum status. This can give you like potential room upgrades as they're available, early check-in when available, a welcome amenity like a choice between bonus points or a drink or a snack, reward night discounts here and there. You'll also get the 4th night free on award stays. They're nice benefits for just holding the card, but it's not like when you hear room upgrades, they're not going to be like, oh, let's put you in a standard suite or something like that. It's usually more, you get a higher floor, nicer view, that kind of thing.
I just want to insert something here that I have had really good luck with platinum status in Asia. For some reason, they really honor that. They thank you profusely. And I have gotten suite upgrade. So, if you've got this, you're going to Asia or somewhere international, you may be surprised you may get better status upgrades.
Yeah, and just to be clear too, that's not their highest level of status. Their highest level is diamond. And so that's where more of those upgrades, their diamond would be, compared to like Hyatt Globalist. Although as Hyatt girlies, Hyatt Globalist is better. And then they have an IHG One Rewards Premier business card. It is the exact same card as the personal, same benefits, same annual fee, all those things. Now, with all of these IHG cards, they are issued by Chase, so they will fall under the 524 rule, at least with those personal cards. So something to consider as well, kind of weighing, is this the right time for me to get this card? What's my 524 account? All of that. So that's it for the cards. My mom's going to talk now about purchasing IHG points and how sometimes they can make sense. And you don't hear us say that very often.
No, we really don't. But I do this, and I do this at least once a year. I think they have a maximum of what you can purchase. I want to say it's 150,000. I usually purchase 100,000 points. Now they have a bonus often, like every 2 or 3 months. Constantly there's a bonus. So if there isn't one this month, there may be one next month. And so you can purchase those points with 100% bonus. I've done this to top off my balance when I don't have enough points. So say you get that standard offer on one of those personal cards or the business card of 140K points for your welcome offer, and you'd like to stay at the Seafire. And you want to stay with getting that fourth night free. So usually you can get that for about 70K a night. That means you need 210,000 points. Well, you've got that standard offer at 140K with that credit card. Now, Alex and I did this, and you need another 70K so you can get that promo of redeeming 3 nights and getting the fourth night free. So they have a bonus purchase, and you can buy 35K, you get your another 35K with the bonus, and you now have 210K to book that 4-night stay. And the cost is really not very much. I think it's about $350 is what we paid for that when we did it. And these rooms cost over $1,000. Now, as long as you have a card and are getting that promo for that stay 3 nights, get the fourth night free, it can even be better. And this is what I do, is I just like these hotels. I like Kimptons a lot. And so I will always buy like 105,000 points at least a year. With that 100% bonus, that gives me 210,000 points. And I know that I can stay for only paying about $1,000 at one of these hotels for 4 nights. And mind you, these nights are worth $1,000 each. Now that is a no-brainer.
I think that a lot of times people ask, does it make sense to buy points? Does it make sense to buy miles? We always say to do the math and see like, okay, are you going to pay less for the points than you would if you were paying out of pocket for the room? But IHG is one of those brands where it consistently, I would say 95% of the time, buying points is a good deal with IHG. Like, especially if you're staying at those aspirational properties where the cost per night is so high. It is one of the few that I consistently buy points from.
Yeah, you figured that with this deal that we're talking about, so if it's $1,000 a night, and you're going to end up with 4 nights there for $1,000, you're basically paying $250 a night to stay there. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. I mean, I was talking to Alex. We just got back from the Kimpton Roaton. And I said, yeah, my sister and I need to go here. And then if we split it, we're really each paying $125 a night. So it is really a great deal. And that is one of the things that we love about IHG, is that purchasing their points absolutely makes sense sometimes.
All right. So now we are going to talk about those free night awards that Alex mentioned as perks of the cards, go a little bit more in depth on those. So like she said, with the Premier Personal and the Premier Business, you get a free night award. I actually had at one point both of those cards. And so I got 2 free night awards. Like she said, they are worth up to 40,000 points, basically. And so if you find a room and it's 38,000 points a night, you can go into your account and you can redeem your free night award for that room, and you don't have to pay anything extra. If you wanted to stay at the Kimpton Seafire, like Pam was talking about, and it's normally 70,000 points a night, and you had a free night award, you could go into your account, you could opt to redeem that award, you could select the Kimpton Seafire, and then you would just have to pay 30,000 points on top of redeeming that award. And so you could totally do that. That would be a great way to use your award because, like she said, rooms go for over $1,000 a night there. So for a $99 annual fee, you're getting this certificate that can be really valuable depending on where you use it.
That's actually exactly what we did. Is we actually stayed for 5 nights. So we had points. We had this is what's crazy. We had enough points for 2 nights. Bought points to get a 3rd night, which got us the 4th night free from having the card, and then used a free night certificate and topped it off. So we really only had enough points for 2 nights though, which was really crazy that we were able to like stretch that to get 5 when you add in the free night certificate, buying points, and the 4th night free benefit. So it's pretty cool. If you're strategic, you can take that one welcome offer and make it go really far.
And that's just, like you said, that was one welcome offer.
Yeah.
If you and Pam had each gotten the card, if you're working with a spouse or a partner or a sibling and you both get the card, then you're really looking at like multiple vacations. That's what Ted and I did. I was like, I'm getting the card, you're getting the card. We're going to we've stayed at,
The only downside with the way they do things is if you want to combine points with a player or two, you have to pay to do it, and it negates the whole thing. It's not worth it. Like the price they charge you to combine points is kind of ridiculous. So that makes it a little more tricky. But if you're just looking, hey, I'll get a trip and you'll get a trip, then it works out great. It's just if you're like hoping to use your points on a trip together, they make it really difficult.
Or if you want to get 8 nights at the Kimpton. We've had followers do that where one spouse books for, 3 nights, gets the 4th night free. The second spouse books 3 nights, gets the 4th night free, and they go for 8 nights. And so that is another option. Just a lot of value from these points. The other thing is these free night awards do expire 1 year after they are issued, and they go by your anniversary year, not your calendar year. So if I earn a free night award in May 2025, that's going to expire in May 2026. It's not my calendar year. And so that's something to keep in mind. I know when I opened my personal and my business cards, I tried to open them fairly close in time to one another. I think I waited 30 days. I purposely did that so that there would be a lot of overlap with when my free night awards were good, and then I could hopefully combine them and use them for the same stay. And so that is another thing. Another nice thing is you can book these online. Like I said, I know with Hilton, they make it difficult, man. You gotta call Hilton to redeem your free night awards.
Or you can chat.
But their chat agents are not the best. And so it's a pain to redeem Hilton free night awards. Not with IHG. You simply go into the award, you select that you want to redeem it. Like I said, even if you want to use it on a room that costs more than 40,000 points a night, you can do that online. You can top it off online with the points from your account. So really easy to do. IHG doesn't have as much oversized value as something like Hyatt, but it is still a solid option. And
this wasn't on our outline, so I'm putting everybody on the spot, but where have you guys used some of your IHG free night awards?
I've used mine at a Kimpton in Denver, at the Kimpton Monaco, which is really a nice hotel. I mean, just to tell you about Kimptons, they are more boutique-y. The decor is just kind of funky, quirky. They all are different. And so that's my favorite way to use mine.
Alex, I'm using one coming up for our night at Kimpton in Barcelona.
That's right.
So,
did you have to top it off?
I did have to top it off. I think I had to use at least 10 or 20,000 of my own points, but it was a pricey room. And so it made sense to do that. Other places I've used them are like airport hotels. Often there's a Holiday Inn by the airport or a Crowne Plaza by the airport, and those I can usually get within the 40,000 point range, and so I don't need to top them off. That is another time I've used them too.
Yeah, I've used one at the Kimpton Seafire, like we mentioned. I don't know if it was mine or my mom's, but one of us used it there. And then I've used one at a Crowne Plaza at by JFK. When Mitch and I were flying out to go to Maldives, we flew in, stayed the night there at a Crowne Plaza. And it was like my certificate was expiring like 2 weeks later. Like, I mean, and then I've also used one at a Holiday Inn Express in Idaho for a soccer tournament. Just like we were just going to be there one night. Yeah. So it kind of works out perfect for things like that sometimes too.
No, I totally agree. All right, Alex, tell us more about the 4th night free benefit and some of the different IHG brands that people may or may not recognize.
Yes. So the 4th night free is only on award stays of 4 nights or more. And these have to be booked with points. It's not like I can be like, oh, I used 2 nights with points and 1 night with a free night certificate, and now I'll get the 4th night free. It all has to be, your 3 nights have to be booked with points and like 1 reservation. This comes with IHG Silver status or higher, and it's a benefit of all of the IHG cards. So, that lower annual fee one, the regular Premier, or the no annual fee one is what I mean. The no annual fee, the Premier, and the Premier Business. So really nice benefit. Really similar to Hilton. Hilton Silver Status does the same thing, and you get it with any Hilton card. But they do the 5th night free.
The other thing I like about this is they make it so easy. As long as you have the status and you're logged into your IHG account, if you search for 4 nights or 5 nights or whatever, it automatically applies the discount. And so there's no code you need to use. If you just search 4 nights, it will show you a new price, and that price basically in points factors in the 4th night free. So super easy to redeem that 4th night free.
Yeah. So some of the IHG brands you might recognize, you might be like, oh, I had no clue that was an IHG hotel. So in their budget category, we've got Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, Staybridge Suites and Candlewood Suites. And then, mid-budget area, you have your Crowne Plaza, Boutique. These are a couple of our favorites, are Hotel Indigo and Kimpton, which we've talked a lot about. Everybody knows we love Kimpton. Luxury, you've got InterContinental, and then resorts, they have Six Senses. I haven't stayed at any of the Six Senses, but I would love to try those out sometime. So yeah, that's the Hilton, the IHG umbrella. There are much more than that. Those are just some of the ones you've probably heard of and are more familiar with. So my mom's now going to talk about IHG status.
So IHG status is super easy to get. You just have to have one of their credit cards, and that's going to give you silver status. And at least, and that is silver status comes with the traveler card, gives you free internet and late checkout, not a lot more. Platinum is their almost top tier with having a card. It is your top tier if you have a card. That's if you have the Premier or the Business. That's going to include room upgrades as available, points or a drink or snack at check-in, usually a value of about $10, not anything crazy, but still nice. Free internet and late checkout. They also have gold and diamond tiers based on stays not really worth striving for compared to striving for Hyatt Globalists. Now, I will tell you that when they did a change to their status levels, a few years ago, and ever since then, I've had diamond. I have not chased it. I have not completed the earning. I don't know why they keep giving it to me, but I'm not complaining because I get free breakfast. And so, Alex, I just got back from the Grand Roatan. We had breakfast for 2 in an amazing buffet, and I'm just happy. I will take that as long as they want to give that to me. So it's so easy for a lot of people to have some sort of status. And so it's definitely not as rewarding as Hyatt Globalists because you have to really work for Hyatt Globalists. And I think that's why it's more aspirational to get. So
I think with the free breakfast for the IHG too, it's only for 2 people.
Yeah.
It's not like with Globalist, it's 2 adults and 2 children. With IHG, it's just a flat 2 people. And so if you're traveling with a family, not as beneficial as something like Hyatt Globalist status too.
Exactly. So we want to talk a little bit about some of our favorite IHG stays to date and one that we're most looking forward to try in the future. Well, Alex and I got back last night from the Kimpton Grand Roatan. It was my second stay there, and it's one that I will go back to. I love Roatan. It's definitely a international feel. It's very lush, very beautiful. The location of the Kimpton Grand Roatan is amazing. We will have a post coming out or a podcast about our stay there, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But it's a place I really like. I love the beauty. I love Kimptons. I'm always looking for a Kimpton to stay at. There's a Kimpton in Sydney I really liked. Stayed at the Seafire, really like that. I am a Hyatt girl, but I'm also a Kimpton girl. I've tried the Indigo in London. The rooms are smaller, but very boutique, very, very cute. Another interesting brand that they have that I like is the Voco. There's not a lot of them. There was one in Edinburgh that I stayed at, and it's a really great brand. So if you see that in a city that you're going to, don't hesitate to stay at the Voco. One that I want to try, all Kimptons. Kimptons anywhere. I'm kind of like that with my Park Hyatts. My goal is to go to as many Park Hyatts as I can around the world. And I'd like to go as many Kimptons because I really like to compare their boutique style. There is a hotel opening up soon near Cancun. It's the Tres Rios, and it's an all-inclusive. I actually had it booked for December of this year. I know it was under 100,000 points a night. I can't remember exactly what it was because I canceled it, and then I went to look. It's got a delayed opening. I think it's supposed to maybe open up in August of this year, and I haven't been able to see the ability to book it with points. And I don't know if that's just because it hasn't opened up yet, because I did do it once. But that is someplace I definitely want to stay. I want to try an all-inclusive at a Kimpton in Mexico. And I would also love to try a Six Senses resort. I think there's one in Fiji. Sounds like a plan.
All right. So, like my mom said, just stayed at the Kimpton Roatan, and that was the one that I had been really wanting to try. So now I don't know what one I want to try now. I've got to like do some research, figure out what are some other popular ones and ones that look really good. I'd love to try a Six Senses, but I had like opened the Premier business card like over a year ago now with the plan of, oh, I'm going to redeem these for the Kimpton Roatan. And then my mom, I don't know when you asked me, maybe it was this summer, early fall. And she said, hey, I have some points. Would you want to go to Kimpton Roatan with me? I was like, okay, yeah. So now I'm like, oh, I still got all my points. Got to figure out what to do with them. But loved that stay. Loved my stay at the Kimpton Seafire. Wouldn't hesitate to return to either one of those. They're both fantastic. I would say I like the rooms. At least in our experience, the room was a little bigger at this Seafire, but the Roatan has lots of different rooms you can choose from. And we'll get into that in our episode coming out next week. But the vibe and the Roatan is prettier. The vibe felt a little more like special, I guess, like more culture maybe. But I would go back to either one. They're both amazing and beautiful hotels. Great grounds. I would say maybe the service was a little bit better at the Seafire, at least while we were there. And not that it wasn't great at the Roatan. They were very nice. I think it was just they maybe were understaffed a little bit is kind of what it seemed like. So yeah, those are two that I loved and would go back to any day. I know a lot of people in our audience already know we recommend and love both of those. So gotta find some more for you guys so I can stop recommending the same two every time. But yeah, I don't know what to do. Let us know if you've stayed at another IHG that you loved and you think we should try, and I'll go try it. So Jess, what about you?
All right, I'm thirding the Kimpton Seafire because I loved it, but also we stayed at the Crowne Plaza in Bruges, and with my whole family of 6, we got 2 rooms there. If you were going to Bruges, it is the perfect location. It's like on the square, just in the middle of all the action. And so I loved my stay there. The hotel wasn't super fancy, but like it's so cute. The outside of it is just so cute. Perfect location. So would not hesitate to go stay there again if I were in Bruges. The ones I want to try, I want to try the Kimpton Roatan because I'm the only TMS member that hasn't been there now. So
you'll
I gotta
love
go.
it. And you can, it's an easy flight from Houston. We connected in Houston yesterday. And so it's like, okay, Jess needs to do this. This is like a 2.5-hour flight for her.
I be there twice a year.
Give me some of your points, Pam.
Just go buy some.
The other one I want to try is the Hotel Indigo Galapagos. So really want to go to the Galapagos. High on my list. Haven't booked it yet, but I saw that there was a Hotel Indigo there. And I was like, all right, now I really want to go. And it has really good reviews and looks super cute. So those are the top 2 on my list to try.
You know, one type that we haven't really talked about that I think we should mention is the InterContinentals. They are amazing. I think that for somebody who really wants luxury, and we're talking marble and chandeliers and all of that, you can't beat a InterContinental. And they're found in most of the big cities. I would just say that probably for the 3 of us, our vibe tends to be a little bit more modern, a little bit more boutique-y, and just a different vibe. But I've stayed at a couple InterContinentals that were really amazing too. So
Yeah.
definitely.
I think I said this on a recent episode or somewhere recently with the two of you, but I feel like Kimpton is kind of like the Andaz of Hyatt, and we love Andaz, like that boutique vibe that's a little bit more modern, and I don't know, we just love it.
Well, we hope that this episode has helped you understand the IHG program a little bit better. If you haven't stayed at one of the boutique or luxury hotels, you are missing out and will want to check them out. Make sure that you're following us on Instagram and subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss an increased IHG welcome offer.
Thanks so much for listening to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button from wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Want to start jet setting even faster? Follow the links in the show notes to learn about everything we discussed in today's episode. And to stay connected and follow along, follow us on Instagram at Travel Mom Squad. We can't wait to see where in the world points and miles take you.